Hi, welcome to Learning Monkey. I am Vikram. In this class, we'll try to understand direct mapping technique 2. So this is our second video on direct mapping technique. In this, we'll try to understand address mapping of cache and main memory. So the concepts of direct mapping technique, first video, we have discussed about the basic concepts. If you haven't watched that video, please watch that video and come back here, because the mechanism of a direct mapping technique has already been discussed. So the concepts related to that video is very much important for you to understand what's happening in this video. And every video in our channel is going to be a part of entire course or a playlist. Our suggestion is to follow the entire course so that you can have better understanding of the concepts. And the link for the playlist is provided in the description below. Now coming to this class, so here we will try to understand how the direct mapping technique will get implemented on the real-time scenarios, in the sense whenever the instructions are getting executed on the computer, how the direct mapping, how the mapping, address mapping that is generated by the CPU will happen. So all those concepts we will try to understand in this class. So this is our 64-bit memory, physical memory, and this is the logical representation of the same memory, where 4 words are grouped into one group. So 4 words are grouped, and this is what we call it as block, and each block consists of 4 words, and this is the block address. This is our cache memory with grouped with 4 words, and each line will have 4 words, and this is the line number. And what the CPU will generate is, whenever the instructions are getting executed, for example there are 8 instructions that are being executed, assume that the instruction 4 is getting executed. So instruction 4 is getting executed means what is the address that is present in the program counter? The instruction 4 is executing. The instruction 4 is in the memory address 3. What is the address that will be there on the program counter? The address will be 4, because this is a 64 word memory. So in order to represent each and every word uniquely, we should have 6 bits. So the CPU always generate a 6-bit address, but logically how the things are grouped on the main memory, the grouping of the main memory is done with 4-bit addresses. So each block consists of 4 words. Whenever we want a word in a block, the entire block will be moved on to the cache memory. This is what we call it as principle of locality. The advantages of principle of locality has already been discussed in our previous videos. So this entire block will get shifted onto the cache memory. So here that 6-bit address that is generated by the CPU has to be mapped with the logical address of the block number. So how that mapping is done, so that we will try to understand. So what we are executing the instruction 4, which is located on the memory location 3. So the program counter is going to have the address 6-bit address with the value 4, because the next instruction that has to be executed is located in the address 4. So this is a 6-bit address which is generated by the CPU. Okay, so now using this address we have to locate whether that is there in the cache memory or not. Is the memory location 4 there in the cache memory? So this is memory location 0, 1, 2, 3, but the location 4 is not there. So what we have to do, we have to fetch that entire block from the main memory into the cache memory. So how to map that 6-bit address into the 4-bit address of the main memory? How that can be done is, the address is 000100. So this entire 6-bit address is divided into 2 parts. This entire 6-bit address is divided into 2 parts. This part is what we call it as block number. So this concept has already been discussed. So this is what we call it as block number. This is what we call it as block number. With this part of the address, we can identify in which block the instruction is located. And the offset, this part is what we call it as block offset. block offset. So what this block offset is, out of these 4 words, which word has to be selected? So the block offset says that it is 0 0. So this is 0 0, this is 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1. So this instruction 5 will be transferred onto the CPU, and this entire block, memory block, will get transferred onto this cache memory. So now this entire block will get transferred onto this cache memory, where it has to be transferred. That is defined by the direct mapping. As we are in the direct mapping, which line of the cache memory to which line of the cache memory this entire block has to be transferred. To which line it has to be transferred, it is decided by the modulus division, address by. So 1 mod 2 power 2, because we have 4 lines, the power 2 value, representation of 4 is 2 power 2, so it is 1 mod 4. 1 mod 4 means 1. So into the first line, this entire block will get transferred. It is I5, I6, I7 and I8, and this 5th instruction will get executed. In that process, so in the fetching and all that process, what is the value that will get stored onto the PC? The value that will get stored onto the program counter is 101, because the next instruction that has to be executed on the CPU, the address of the next instruction is 000101. In the 5th, as we are executing this instruction, in the fifth address of the memory, the instruction 6 is located. After I5, I6 will get executed. So this is based upon the principle of locality. Principle of locality states that there is a probability that likely the next instruction, very near instruction, will get executed. So based upon that, the the next instruction is located, instruction 6 is located in address 5, so that address 5 is already there in the program counter. Now this address, using this address, we have to first check in the cache memory. So what is that address that we have? It is this address. And how to check that in the cache memory? So as the instruction 5 is not there, in the cache memory, we have identified that from the main memory and we have transferred it. Now the instruction 6 is already there in the cache memory. So how to identify, how to get that instruction 6 in the cache memory, which is located in the cache memory? So in order to make that happen, we are going to divide this entire address. So what is the address? So this is what we call it as address mapping. So this entire address is divided into 3 parts, whereas to fetch the values from the main memory, fetch the instructions from the main memory, we have divided it into 2 parts, but for the cache memory, we are going to divide the address into 3 parts. So what are those 3 parts? 3 equal parts. So 2 bits each. 2 bits each. So what this part represents, and what this part represents. So this part represents line offset. So this is what we call it as line offset. So within the line, which word has to be identified? So as we have already discussed, line offset is 0001 1011. Okay, so this part, these 2 bits represents this line offset. 01 means this one. Okay, so I6, this is what we call it as offset, and this part represents line number. The same address, the same 6-bit address, using this 6-bit address which is generated by the CPU, we can decide which one has to be. So we can fetch whether that word is present in the cache memory or not. So that is done by dividing this entire address into 3 parts. This part is what we call it as line offset. Within the line, which word has to be fetched is decided by this line offset, and this line number. So how many lines are there? 4 lines are there. To represent 4 lines uniquely, we need 2 bits. So the line number is 01. So this is 01. So in this line, the offset, this has to be obtained. So what about these two bits? What about these two bits? So these two bits are what we call it as tag number. So what is the use of these bits? That we will try to understand. So these two bits are called as tag bits. Okay, so these two bits are called as tag bits. So what is the use of these tag bits? Let's try to understand it clearly by using a separate diagram. So this is how. So from this part, it is very important to understand. So we request you to focus more on this concept and try to watch this part of the video as many times as possible until you get the clarity. So what are those two tag bits represent? Let's try to use the same example. Let's try to use the same example here. Okay, so what are the bits that we have? It is 000101. This is the address where this is the address. Using this address we have to fetch whether that value is present in the cache memory or not, word is present in the cache memory or not. So these two bits are called as tag bits. Okay, so this is cache memory and this is main memory, and this is how the blocks are divided into. Block 0 is going to have word 0 1 2 3, block 1 is going to have 4 5 6 7, and block 15 is going to have 60 61 62 63 words will be there in the main memory. This is the logical representation, and this is the logical representation of the cache memory. So the line 1 can accommodate it can accommodate, because it is direct mapping, line 1 can accommodate either 0, 4 or 8 or 12th blocks. So these blocks, whenever these blocks want to get transferred onto the cache memory, they have to reside in the block 0, line 0 of the cache memory. Okay, so now let's try to understand what are the blocks that can reside on the line 1. In the line 1 we the blocks that can reside are 1 5 9 13. See here, 1 line block 5, block 9 and block 13. These are the blocks that can get accommodated on this line 1. On the line 1, either first block, either 5th block, either 9th block or 13th block has to be transferred. Okay, let's try to understand that. So now let's try to understand the binary representation of each word address that block 1 is capable of, block 5 is capable of, block 9 and block 13 is capable of. So what are the words that are present in block 1? Block 1 consists of 4th word, 5th word, 6th word and 7th word. Think of it, block, word, line. That differentiation is very important. Block 1 is having 4 words. What are the words that the block 1 is having? It is 4th block, 5th block, 6th block and 7th block. The binary representation of the blocks, block 1, the words that are present in the block 1 are, these are the binary representation. Similarly, block 5, what are the words that are present in block 5? 20, 21, 22, 23. So these are the words that are present in the block 5. The binary representation of words that are present, the addresses of the words that are present in block 5 are 20, 21, 22, 23. Similarly for block 9 and block 13. So let's try to find the differentiation. So for example, let's check the word 4, word 20, word 36 and word 52. Let's find the similarities for the bits that are present in word 4, word 20, word 36 and word 56. So these are the addresses. Word 4, this is the binary representation of 4th address. This is the binary representation of 20th word address, and binary represent of 36 and 52. If you observe these words, these bits of the words, see here, these bits which are representing line offset and line number. So these 4 bits, the least significant 4 bits, all are addresses, right? All are addresses. So these are also the 4 bits. So all the 4 bits are same 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0. So what are the bits that are differentiating 4th bit from 20th bit from 36 bit and 52 address? So what are the bits that are differentiating these addresses these are the 2 bits. These are the 2 bits. See here, for 4th address the 2 bits are 0 0. For address 20 the 2 bits are 0 1. For address 36 the bits are 1 0. For address 52 the bits are 1 1. Okay. So if we take the blocks that can accommodate in the line of the cache memory, the least 4 significant bits are same. See here, for some of the addresses the least 4 significant bits are same. For 4, 20, 36, 52 the least 4 significant bits are same, but the differentiation we are going to obtain for these bits are the tag bits, the last most significant 2 bits. For 4 it is 0 0, for 20 it is 0 1, for 36 it is 1 0, the remaining 4 bits are same. For 52 it is 1 1. Okay, so these are called as tag bits. The cache memory should be provided with tag numbers, tag bits. So these, whenever we want, we have the block 1 on the line 1, so it is going to be stored with 0 0. For example, let's try to understand it. For example, if block 1 is there in the line 1, block 1 is there means what are the memory locations that we are going to have? What are the memory locations that we are going to have? Block 1 means, block 1 means 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so for each for all the values in the block 1 it is going to have 0 0. So 0 0 is representing that block 1 is there. So this is what we have to, this is what the tag number is representing. So if the tag number maps, which means that this particular what we call it as this particular word is there in this line. For example, if we have B4, block 4, block 5, if we have block 5, what are the addresses that we have? What are the words that we have in the block 5? The words that we have in the block 5 are 20, 20, 21, 22 and 23 words are there, and the addresses are, so the all these addresses are having tag, all these addresses, so 20 address, 21 address, 20 word, 21 word, 22 word and 23rd word are having the same most significant 2 bits. So what are those 2 bits? It is 0 1. Okay, so with these tag bits, so we have to map these tag bits also. With these tag bits, we are going to know that this particular memory, this particular value is there in the location. Okay, so this is how the address mapping of the cache memory and the main memory will happen. Hope you got the clarity on this concept. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates.